What's going on, everybody? We are out tonight for a bit of winter camping, a bit of mischief, and a bit of mirth. Also, I made these. We'll get to these in a minute. First, let me get you caught up on how we got here. That's where I came from. It's fairly well plowed, but this is where I'm headed to. Out into there. That's actually over where I want to camp tonight. This is, I don't know, 6-8 inches of snow, and we're gonna see how my little homemade toboggan does here on the snow. All right, after looking around for a while, I think I've decided that the best spot for me is actually back a little ways. I've camped in this spot before, but it just seems a little bit open right now. So I'm gonna try and tuck back in between at least a couple of trees. Not that, you know, I really think it's gonna break the wind if it does indeed get windy tonight, but I just really don't want to be out here in all this open, so I'm going to turn around and head back. I think this is my spot right here. So the first thing I need to do is shovel a place out to pitch my tent. I've got myself a, I don't know, 10 by 10, maybe 10 by 12 area shoveled out. Off to the upper left there, that's a little higher than down to the lower left. I think I'm going to put my tent in the upper left corner and try and get a fire going down in that lower left corner. That way, as the snow melts, it'll kind of run away from the tent. I really don't want the water from the fire running towards the tent. That seems like it would just make a big, muddy, icy mess. All right, time to get the tent set up. Water. Now we're having an adventure. I want to get a fire going later on tonight, so I'm going to gather up some firewood now. The issue is, with all this snow on the ground, I can't pick anything up off the ground, so I've got to pull the dead stuff out of trees. Trudging through all that snow has worn me out a little bit. So I'm going to lay down for a couple minutes and just take a little rest. I think I need something to get me up off that snow. And I've got an idea for something. We'll see if it works. In the meantime, I'm going to rest here for just a few minutes. I am just really majorly sinking into the ground. So I saw somebody else do this online, and I'm going to give it a try. I need a couple of pine boughs to make this happen. So that's what's first. I brought this back out. You guys may recognize this from one of my previous videos. Brought it back out because it does have a lightweight saw on it. I don't know how good it's going to do, but we're going to give it a shot. So I want to be clear with you guys, this is not a how-to, because I honestly don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to figure it out. I saw this a couple of weeks ago online and thought that it looked like something interesting to try. Okay, the first thing I did was cut off a couple of pine boughs right off the pine tree. You can't pick up dead boughs because they're too brittle and they'll break when you step on them. Then you want to cut all the branches off, all the smaller branches off, and get it down to these larger branches, which I then laid out like so. Okay, I did one of my backwoods bushwhacked snowshoe idea here. Again, I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm certainly going to give it a try. I'm working on my second one, which I think once I get back to camp, I'm going to redo with some bigger branches, but this is what I got right now. I think I've actually figured out a way to do this after some trial and error, and I'm going to show that to you guys right now. What we're going to do is we're just going to make ourselves a slip knot. Just like so. Easy, easy slip knot. Alright, we've got our slip knot. Gonna slide that on there like so, tighten her up, and then lash this together with a Central Ohio knot. Now you're asking me, David, what's a Central Ohio knot? And I'm going to say to you, I don't know, but I know this: it's never the same thing twice. All right, and we're going to do that again here and here. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is take some of these pine boughs and weave them in and out like so. All right, the last thing we're going to do is lash these onto the feet. Fail. Absolute fail. I think what I am going to do is take these back to my camp and work on them back there. So I've got about, I'd say a little bit over an hour's worth of daylight left, and I'm going to spend part of it working on these. I think actually that this smaller one is going to work better than the larger one, but I'm going to try them both. I'm going to try one thing with both, and that is using some larger bungee cords to actually fasten my feet down. So I brought these bungees with to help strap my stuff down to my sled. Sorry, it's actually kind of chilly out here, and I'm having a little bit of trouble speaking due to the cold. But like I was saying, I brought these bungees to strap some of the stuff down to my sled. I'm going to see if I can somehow rig these up to hold my feet on a little bit better. Okay. I think you can see the snowshoes are actually working. Now that I've got them attached to my feet a little bit better. It's definitely keeping the foot that it's on up above the snow. All right, let's see if I can rig up the other backwood snowshoe. All right, I've got the bungees attached. Here comes the moment of truth. Well, I'm not getting anywhere fast with these, but they do work for keeping you up off the snow a little bit. I think in a pinch, yeah, they'd work. Am I going to forego a manufactured pair for my backwoods snowshoes? No, I will not be doing that. In fact, I think I am going to order a pair. It's fun making them though. Next on the agenda is a fire. I'd estimate I've got about 40 minutes of daylight left. So I want to get a little fire going and then cook some dinner. It's going to be a cold one tonight. I think it's supposed to get down to about 9 degrees. So if I want to hang out outside for a little bit, I'm going to need a bit of a fire. I have a few of these store-bought fire starters left over from a backpacking trip I did several months ago. So I'm just going to use these, and I've got something else I'm going to use, guaranteed to get me a fire going. Guaranteed fire. I've got the fire going behind me, and what I've done is, instead of trying to break these logs up, is I've just got the ends of them in the fire. As they burn down, I'll keep moving them in until they burn up. Now, I feel okay doing this because there's nothing but snow around. There's nothing really there to burn. If it were really dry, or if this were the summer, I wouldn't feel okay about having the logs hanging out of the fire like that. Also, they are a tripping hazard like this, so if you decide to do this, be very, very careful, and I would not do it while you're drinking. You risk tripping over them and falling into the fire. Trust me, that's something I learned from experience. Okay, so I wanted to give you guys a few thoughts on my homemade bushwhack snowshoes. For my first attempt, I'm actually really, really pleased with how they turned out. The little flimsy bungee cords that I first tried to use on them, those just weren't going to hold my feet up. But once I got into the big industrial, big boy bungee cords, those definitely held my feet on a lot better. I have noticed that one of them has already started to fall apart a little bit. I just need to lash it a little bit better, I think, next time I try and do this. Overall, yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how they turned out for my first attempt. I'll try and wear them out of here tomorrow, at least until I get back to the part of the trail that's been plowed a little bit. But that is basically it. I'm happy with them, and looking forward to my second attempts, which probably won't be tonight because the sun's almost down and I still need to cook dinner. So I'm going to get going on that, and we'll catch up with you guys shortly. You guys may recognize dinner tonight. Uncle Ben's Ready Rice. This is the rice that I didn't eat a couple of weeks ago when I was camping out underneath the bridge. But I'm ready for it tonight. Tell you what, trudging through all this snow, gathering up all this firewood has made me starving. So, we're going to get into it. Thanks again, Uncle Ben. It is obviously going to be a cold one tonight. I'm already cold. Well, obviously I'm already cold because it's 17 degrees out. But I think I'm going to let this fire die down a little bit. I'm going to bed down in my sleeping bags and probably read a little bit before going to bed. It's still pretty early. It's about 7:30, but it's dark out. And it's just me, so I've got a book that I'm going to read for a little while, and then I think we'll probably hit it. But I will catch up with you guys at least one more time before I say goodnight. All right, I am in the tent, and I'm actually recording this on my iPhone because I think it's too cold for my other two cameras that I brought. I know it's too cold for the regular camcorder. I've got the GoPro with me, but it doesn't seem to be working right now. Battery says it's got about 75%, but it's still not working. I don't know. At any rate, ended up taking my jeans off. The bottoms were pretty frozen with snow, so I didn't really want to wear those. I brought a pair of ski pants that I hadn't changed into, but I put those on for some extra warmth tonight because I think it is going to be an absolutely cold one. I think this is it for me tonight. I'm going to catch up with you guys in the morning. Have a good night. Hey everybody. Well, if you're eagle-eyed, you'll notice that I am no longer in my tent, and there is a very, very good reason for that. My last check-in with you was about 8 o'clock p.m. and I had to do that on my iPhone. Reason being was my camcorder shut down and my GoPro shut down due to the extreme cold. Well, it was minutes after I checked in with you on my iPhone that shut down due to the extreme cold. It had about 70% battery power when I looked at it, and then it just shut down. I finally got it plugged back in here, and it's at about 2% right now and charging up. But anyway, everything's shut down. I bedded down. I had a backpacking air mattress that I put down with a heavy-duty sleeping bag on top of that, and then my mummy bag on top of that. And I got into the mummy bag. I was in there probably about 3.5 hours, just freezing, even with ski pants on, 2 pair of wool socks. I've got 5 layers on top, 2 knit hats. I finally decided that this discretion was the better part of valor, and grabbed one of my sleeping bags and came back to the car, cut that on for some heat. It is just entirely too cold. So I'm going to hang out here. I'm going to sleep in the back of the car tonight. And we will regroup in the morning and probably go out in the morning and get my abandoned stuff. But it was really, really cold out there, so I've decided that this is the best place for me to be.
I will catch up with you all in the morning.
Good morning, everybody. Well, I'm happy to report I made it through the night. It was not my best night of sleep, not my best night of camping by a long shot, but I did survive. While I'm trudging back to my tent and all my gear, I want to tell you guys a little bit more about what happened. Like I said, it was just so cold. In fact, when I decided to abandon my camp spot last night and head back to the car, I tried to put my boots on. My boots, they were frozen. They were frozen in place. I had to take the laces, really loosen them up, take them out of a couple of the little eyelets, and really open them up before I could put them on. The laces were also frozen, so I didn't even tie them. I just tucked them down into the boots to walk out of here. I had gloves on the walk out, but they had gotten cold and frozen as well. So it was, take one glove off, shove it in my pocket, carry the sleeping bag with the other hand. 2 minutes later, switch, just to try and keep my fingers warm. So it was cold. It was very cold last night. I was underprepared with my gear. So if I do this again, well, I'm going to do this again. I'm either going to have to upgrade my gear or pack in some sort of artificial heat. I don't have anything like that, so I'm going to have to figure that piece of it out. Also, all of my cameras are shut down. So everything you see from here on out is going to be shot on the iPhone, which even I got back to the car and got that charged up to about 60% last night. Woke up this morning, it was dead. Luckily, I had brought my little charger with me, so that's what it's on right now. It seems like as long as I keep the phone on the charger, it'll stay on. But right now I got to put this away. I'm holding the phone without a glove and my hand's getting cold. So I'm going to put this away and get back to where I'm camping. Check this out. These are my jeans, still completely frozen down at the cuffs. Yeah, guess they got a little wet last night. As always, I really want to thank you guys for coming along. It was a bit of a mess last night, but I think I made the right decision in abandoning my camp and going and sleeping in my car. Learned that I need to bring along a secondary heating source or get some warmer gear. Probably the secondary heating source is what's going to be appropriate. Anyway, thanks again. We'll see you guys on the next one, and I'm gonna head back to the car.